And in the woods, if you listen closely, you can sometimes hear laughter. 5 young voices. And if you peer through the trees, you might see 5 figures walking along the path. Their gait is slightly wooden, their smiles a little too wide. They look like happy teenagers. They are almost ready to enter the wider world. They just need a little more practice. Thanks for the hospitality, says the thing wearing Zach's form, using Jake's voice. The house is ready for a new family now. Jake and Ashley retreat into the back of the basement, holding hands. They watch as Hannah turns to them. Her face begins to melt like wax, reshaping itself into a perfect copy of Ashley's face. Now they have the same face. The end comes quickly. The creatures aren't angry. They're just efficient. They are learning. A month later, the police, acting on a missing persons report filed by the parents, find the lakeside cabin. It is immaculately clean. No signs of a struggle, no blood. On the living room table sits a new doll made of mud and sticks. It has 5 figures, all holding hands. An escape plan fails. Mike decides to try for the car alone. He's found an hour later. He's standing at the basement door, wet and shivering, telling a story of barely escaping the creature. But Ashley, who knew him best, notices he's blinking wrong, and the small scar above his eyebrow is gone. This isn't Mike. She silently looks away, realizing they are now trapped with the thing wearing their friend's face. Another day passes. Silence reigns in the basement, broken only by the whispers of Mike, who suggests they surrender and open the door. Hannah, broken by grief and fear, starts to believe him. Ashley and Jake try to hold her back, but she screams, "I can't take it anymore," and throws the bolt. The door swings open. On the threshold stand Zach and Mike. Their movements are fluid, too perfect. Their smiles are crooked caricatures of their friends' grins. During the night, they hear Ashley's voice, pleading for help just outside the basement door. The real Ashley clamps a hand over her mouth, her eyes wide with horror. Zach loses his nerve and unbolts the door to help her. He's yanked into the darkness. His scream is cut off almost instantly, as if switched off. A few minutes later, 2 voices come from outside, the real Zach and his perfect copy, both begging to be let in, arguing with each other, each claiming to be the original. Morning brings silence. Only Jake, Ashley, Hannah, and Mike remain in the basement. They hear footsteps above them. It's Zach. He says he managed to escape. His voice sounds completely normal. But when Mike, through a ventilation grate, asks him the name of their 3rd-grade teacher, Zach goes silent, then emits a guttural, inhuman clicking sound. That evening, as the group sits in the living room, a knock comes from the porch. Through the window, they see a figure in a hood, standing in the rain. Jake opens the door. Under the hood is his own face. A perfect copy, only with eyes the color of murky milk. The creature smiles with his own smile and speaks in his voice. "I'm cold. Can I come in?" Chaos erupts. Jake slams the door in terror. The creature doesn't try to break in. It just stands and watches through the window, its smile never wavering. The kids barricade themselves in the basement, the sturdiest part of the house. This is where the paranoia keeps. Zach, always hot-headed, accuses Jake of leading them there. Hannah is sobbing. Mike tries to stay calm, explaining that the thing feeds on discord, that it wants them weak and vulnerable. Jake, thinking it's a stupid prank, takes a flashlight and goes to check. He returns pale, insisting he found no one. Ashley notices the cuff of his shirt is torn, and on his wrist is a bruise in the shape of long, pale fingers. The next day, the tension mounts. Their food supplies are scattered, and on the living room table, they find a doll made of mud and sticks, with eerily accurate features resembling Zach's face. Mike, rummaging through old books in the attic, finds the previous owner's journal. He writes about a local legend of the pale mimic, an ancient thing that lives in these woods, learning to become human by copying their appearance, voices, and memories. But to complete the transformation, it needs to erase the original. The final entry reads, "It has come for me. It wears my face. It is almost ready." 5 high schoolers from the small town of Black Rock, Maine, head to a lakeside cabin for the weekend, inherited by Chase's family. The group is classic. Jake, the adventurous, unofficial leader, his girlfriend Ashley, smart and practical, Zach, the class clown and jock, his girlfriend Hannah, shy and kind, and Mike, the quiet intellectual, into mythology. Their goal is to get away from their parents, drink, and hang out in nature. On the way, they notice a strange sign at the turnoff to the lake. "Caution, stay on the path." A local, an old man with empty eyes, just shakes his head as they turn onto the dirt road. The cabin is old, smelling of mold and dust, but livable. The first night is fun: music, alcohol, ghost stories by the fire. On the second night, the strangeness begins. From outside, in the woods, come sounds, not of animals, but perfect imitations of their own voices. They hear Zach calling for help and Ashley laughing from the darkness.